And currently I'm the school counselor in the German International School. So it's a German-speaking school, so we follow the German curriculum. Okay, so there is some small work for you too, because my topic will be on school counseling in the UAE or in Dubai. And why I'm showing you here something, so that you're not just passively receiving, but also doing your own thoughts. What you saw in the beginning, we had created a word cloud about certain attributes, thoughts about what is a school counselor. So we have prepared this while the other ladies are doing this. And I have here some volunteers, they will go around and just write attributes. Yeah, with word clouds, it's normally horizontal, vertical, and whatever. Thank you very much. So, then we can start this. So that's a short introduction.
You have to start with the foundational skills that any counselor needs. The ability to listen, the ability to comprehend what the person is telling you, to paraphrase, to summarize, to understand the content, and then to intervene with that individual so that that person can move forward with whatever issues it is.
It seems a little much to say a school counselor does everything, but a school counselor does. A school counselor is this resource for these students. If you can imagine a bicycle wheel and all the different spokes lead out to different things in a student's life or a person's life, the school counselor is the center of this bicycle wheel and just able to tap into all of these resources.
The students' needs come first, and whether that's academically, emotionally, are they getting the proper supports in the school, and also, what's going on at home, and what are those things that we can do to work with all stakeholders involved to make sure that the students who we're working with, the population who we're working with, get served and their needs are met, and trying to help them become the best student and really the best person that they can.
You are proactive with every single student. You don't make assumptions that there are some students who are they have a great family life, they don't have any problems at home, I don't have to worry about them. You try and observe their behaviors, you try and bring them in and talk about them, you try and get to know them. You want to know what's happening at home, you want to know what's happening in the classroom.
Being the agent of change for another person, or to be the catalyst for change for a person who is vulnerable, you have to be able to know yourself. Because every counselor has weaknesses and every counselor has strengths. Knowing them is what is important so that you can work to develop professionally.
To go to school in New York City is such a gift. It is the ultimate resource.
I feel like the program has really prepared me for this new career because I am a career changer. Transitioned, came to school here at NYU, had an amazing experience.
I liked the fact that I was going to get trained on the individual, on how to work with the individual, rather than working within a system.
It's so diverse. The school population is so diverse. The faculty is so diverse. What surrounds us is so diverse.
I really feel like the New York University's program really helped me develop the skills I needed to succeed in this position.
In terms of multicultural experience, which is one of the focuses of our program, is a multicultural experience in an urban setting. You really cannot beat New York City as your laboratory for learning about that.
So, I heard that you didn't understand everything very well, but now that there comes some... Yeah. So, what is school counseling? So, if you can read this to yourself, you will find certain things. It's support. Yeah? Very important issue is support. Assistance. It's pupil-oriented. So this you saw also in the video clip, that they said, yeah, it's the focus is the student, the pupil, and then also the family background of that certain student. Then he's responsible for modification, improvement, and attainment of the student. And then one important issue is he should be professional. Yeah? Like what I heard now in Dubai, they want to introduce that a school counselor should be having a master's degree in psychology. So this means you really need some counseling skills. Another presentation is this. Here this I have from Wikipedia. He's a professional member of the educational team. The professional comes in again. Then personal, for the personal, social, and career of the student. So in some schools, you have different counselors. You have the person who is responsible for the social or personal counseling, and then you have the career counselor. Then the counseling could be an individual, it could be a group, or you can also teach. For example, sometimes we have difficulties in the classrooms because of group dynamics. Then the teacher, they come to me, or the tutor, the class teacher, and say, what can we do? We have some mobbing or not mobbing, the dynamics are not good, some students are excluded. So then we work together with the group. Sometimes I also have some teaching sessions, yeah, on social behaviors. Then you have also a leadership to change the environment of the school, to give in some advice. What can be done to improve the school climate? Yeah? So you're not only in your often, you're in your small room, yeah, but you also you're an influencer. So, top 10 traits of a school counselor. What can this be? So, this is the first thing the person said in the video. Be a good listener. We also teach our students sometimes you have to learn active listening. So that's the basic of any counselor, good listener. To be able to assess and evaluate. So sometimes we get also reports, psychological reports about psychometric testing. Yeah? You have to be able to interpret that. Yeah? Or you get a report from a clinical psychologist. You also have to know what is it, anxiety, yeah? What is it really, ADHD, what is it all, yeah? Then be an excellent communicator. Maybe not always to the student you have to be an excellent communicator. It's often to the parents, yeah? Especially when the child, the parents are very vulnerable if they see that there is something with the child, they don't want to hear it. They know inside their heart, but they don't want to confess in front of you. So you have to really bring a way around. And in Germany, we are a little bit more trained to be straightforward. Yeah, so we don't have these nice terms that we can describe it in nice ways. So you also have to become really an excellent communicator. Or if you want to install something in your school, it's important that you have a good connection to the principal, or even with the teachers. Having cultural sensitivity. Here in Dubai, it's not like in New York, we also have so many cultures here, different religion, people from different backgrounds. So that's also very, very important to have. Be able to break the ice. That's a basic trait of any counselor. We call it also rapport. How do I establish rapport to a student who has to come to the school counselor? Yeah? How do you establish that he doesn't feel, okay, now she is looking into my brain? Yeah? Very, very important. Be authoritative and ethical. This is an issue which is very big now in Abu Dhabi. So there is this law, I don't know if it comes also here, is when you observe that the child is being misused or neglected at home, you really have to step up. Or if you hear from the child that he's telling you something, you can't just keep it within the school, because if there was a certain case of a child who was really hurt and beaten up by the parents, and then later it came to the authorities. So they're going now from the counselor to the principal to the family to find out, was it ever mentioned? Yeah? So we also have sometimes cases when the principal is alerted and then the family has to come in and he gives them a warning. He says, okay, now I'm responsible for this case, and if we don't see a change, we have to go to the Child Protection Board. Be able to switch gears fast. This means maybe just for 1 minute you were counseling, you just leave your room and then you have to teach, and on the way you find someone else. Yeah? So it's always something different. Or I just spoke with parents, then you have to go to the student. It's always different communicating. Know yourself and be mindful. This is also something what in the video he mentioned. Because it's like a therapist. Yeah? You hear a lot of things, maybe not so nice things, and you try to help the child. Yeah? You want to go with his feelings or her feelings. But this is now when the therapeutic approach comes in. You have to know to sort yourself. Yeah? That you don't go with the student. Yeah? To really know what is going on doesn't mean that you have to feel what the student is feeling. And sometimes you're also very much overwhelmed, and then you need a network behind it. So this was something where ACE comes in, because we were really 45 school counselors. So you were able to share things. Oh, is it in your school the same? Or what are you doing in this case? So this kind of supervision with your peers is very, very important. Having qualified counseling skills, this is what I already said. If you have a basic in counseling and coaching, this is where you learn more about this therapeutic approach. Yeah? How to ask the right questions, how to paraphrase, all these things. And in this, it's also very important that you keep yourself updated. Yeah? So again, the conference was very important for the people who were there. So we got knowledge about what is going in brain things, yeah? What is happening with the brains of adolescents, what is going on, what the doctor from Abu Dhabi had, self-regulating skills. Yeah? So what is really going on in the market right now? So that's also very, very important. And of course, having laughter and humor after a stress day, that you go home and keep yourself balanced. Okay, so keep calm and let the school counselor handle it. So that's often the case. We had another participant of the last conference, and she told me, yeah, in my school it's like this. We are the psychological department, and anybody who doesn't go further, they just say, bring him to the psychological department. Yeah? So I found this really interesting. So, what are these school counselors doing? Who, by the way, is a school counselor? I even didn't ask. Who is a school counselor? 1, 2, 3. So the most of us. Okay, so you know already your schedule, yeah? You're coaching an individual or a group. You have scheduled meetings with parents. You go school counseling on the core curriculum, this PSHC. You do consultative collaboration with teachers, very important, yeah, to encourage teachers to send to the students, making appropriate referrals to specialists, schedule unscheduled issues such as aggressive behavior. So when there is something, where is the school counselor? Yeah? So all these low self-esteem, depression, self-harm, bullying. So these are the major topics, I think, in the schools also here. Then we, of course, we have to write our reports, yeah? Supporting the intervention of struggling students with special needs, yeah? And then constantly professionally developing themselves. Yeah? Who finds herself in this?
Could you send us a presentation?
Yeah. Okay, so that's also good to, if you want to marketing yourself with your principal, you should tell them what you're all doing, yeah? So these are, that's so to say also a day which can happen also in my school. So I just finished maybe presenting a classroom lesson on goal setting in high school. Then on the way back to the office, the school secretary gives me a message to return a call to the head of kindergarten, because I'm dealing with all from KG to 12th grade. But before you have the chance to pick up the phone, the school nurse steps in concerning aggressive behavior in my primary school students. Yeah? While you are talking with the nurse, your scheduled student steps into your office. Yeah? So you see that you really have to switch gears all the time. Yeah? So it's like a roller coaster. So, 5 reasons to have a qualified counselor in each school in Dubai is now the following. Loss of sense of belonging. So that's a big issue in my school. I think maybe you also share. Is all the social network is gone. Yeah, my relatives are not there. Even for the families, it's really a task now. And the children, they know they're maybe here only 2 or 3 years. They miss their friends. Yeah, all the social network they had back at home, it's not there. And then also to meet other students, very complicated. The other one lives on the Palm, the other one in Marina, the other one in Silicon Oasis. Even to meet my friends is quite difficult here. Then a small network on clinical psychologists. Maybe also you face that you would give it to an Indian clinical psychologist, but how many do you have? Even the British-speaking clinical psychologists are not many here in the country. With the Germans, it's even worse. I think we have right now 1 clinical psychologist here. So the network is very, very small. So you end up to do more of therapeutic thing as you would do at home. Is it right or wrong? Is it sometimes that you do more, a little bit therapy because there's no other person around? Yeah? And in Germany, it's very clear. Okay, I only talk to you if you have problems. We contact your parents, and there you go. Yeah. And here, even when we send to occupational therapists, the waiting list is very long. Yeah. And also here, what Dr. Kiran also mentioned, that she wants to come up with workshops, seminars, so that we get some further education on the way, which I think is quite important. Then cultural diversity, I also said even in our German school, we have people from Switzerland, from Austria, then we have from Egypt quite a number of children, some children from Iran. So this causes also a lot of confusions. Yeah? Then financial constraints of the parents. Yeah? Often we hear, first of all, we don't find the therapist you asked me for. And secondly, it costs 450 dirham per session. No, the health insurance is not paying for that. So you also end up just to assist the child to do a little bit more than normally. And then we have also this high frequency on students. Yeah? So if you have now finally found a friend, next year he's gone. So our classes are mixing up all the time. Yeah? Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Yeah? But it's also this, there's no stability here. Everybody is like on transit. I think in the Indian community it's a little bit more established, yeah? But with us, we are just crushing through. Okay, who benefits from a qualified school counselor? Yeah, in the first place, of course, the student, yeah? Then also the classmates and the teacher. Yeah, that's on the nuclear level. Then also the school climate and performance of the school. Yeah, we also heard from Dr. From KHDA. He said happiness is very important for academic performance. Yeah? And we as counselors think that after our coaching session they feel happier. Yeah? So happiness is good for school climate and performance. And then if a school really performs well, it's also the whole community. Yeah? So in our case, now the community around the school. Yeah? And also it represents your whole country. Yeah? Like in the Indian school, you represent India here. Yeah? And a British school represents somehow what is going on in Britain. And for the German school, we also represent what is going on in Germany. Yeah, if you perform well, our country looks good. Okay, and if they behave nicely in events, it's also good. It's a reputation for the school. Okay, This I found quite interesting. There is actually some research on the effectiveness of school counseling, and you can find it here. So I just summarize some of them. Have significant influence on discipline problems. Yeah, and it decreased participants' aggressive and hostile behaviors. These are mostly the students who have to come to you. Yeah, so school counselor do something with them. Then healthcare service can play an important role in violence prevention at all levels. There more the PSHC is also coming in. We are running right now a program which is called Faustus, and the American one is called Second Step. So it's a violence prevention program. Then school counselors are effective in teaching social skills. School counselors are effective in assisting middle school children in the area of career development. So the career counselors are also very important in this. So, and children who are experiencing family problems report being helped. Yeah, to who else they can do here in Dubai. So in Germany, they can go to the churches, there is something from the city council, the child could go, but here it's more or less the school counselor. Then school counselors are very effective in reducing bullying behavior. That's also one of our major tasks, I think. And to teach when it is really bullying. Yeah, because nowadays everybody says bullying. Yeah? So you also have to differentiate if it's really bullying. Then school council interventions, either individual, small group counseling, classroom guidance, have a substantial impact on students' education and personal development. So again, counseling, also how can I do the learning, counseling on learning strategies. Or someone is not performing because of issues at home. Or someone is not performing because of the whole class climate. So that's also very important. Then school counselors have proven effective in preventing students from committing suicide. I'm not sure if this was the reason why each school in Dubai needs to have a school counselor. I used to be in Kenya, and in the school I was, there was no school counselor before, but then we had a suicide on the school compound, and that's the reason they established someone. Then counseling decreases classroom disturbance and install feeling of belonging. Yeah? Because what I said, often with our students, the only friends they have often is from the class. Okay, so now you were asking me from where they can get the presentation. Dr. Kiran told me that on this website she will also put the presentation, yeah, so that you can download it. If you want it to be sent, you can also send it to this email address.